Dlaczego Tomek zbędnie na wiecynukcie? Lahaniew Andrish, Honadiev von Skiermaniew Erfad. Welcome to Tomek Bendy's United Kingdom. Happy St Andrew's Day from all of the news team. Here is our top stories this evening.
An independent review has found that the London Fire Brigade is institutionally misogynist and racist.
England's Lions have drawn with the United States, while Wales loses 2-0 to Iran in the Qatar World Cup.
And yellow weather warnings are being issued for southern England, Wales and Scotland. More on this to come. Uchyva agus voucher go program na show.
But first it's Viewers News time, and Cindy Meadows says that Oregon Governor Kate Brown pardons about 45,000 people for simple possession of marijuana. And Dancing with the Stars head judge Len Goodman has announced that he is retiring.
And finally, to Talking Tom and Friends channel, who reports that a suspicious death investigation is underway after a body was found in a burned-out trailer. Sonic the Hedgehog creator Yuji Naku has been arrested in Japan for some reason. NASA's Orion capsule races past the moon in a course-changing flyby. Michael J. Fox received an honorary Oscar for work toward Parkinson's research, and Paddington Bears left in tribute to the late Queen Elizabeth II get a royal tour.
To sport now, and England are on the verge of reaching the knockout stage of the Qatar World Cup, but Wales face an uphill battle in their quest to make the last 16.
A 2-0 defeat by Iran meant Wales would have needed to have beaten England yesterday and hoped that the results would go their way if they are ever to progress on to their first World Cup appearance since 1958.
England's dropped goalless draw with the United States saw them miss the chance to wrap up qualification, but Gareth Southgate's side will go through regardless if they avoid a 4-goal defeat by Wales. Meanwhile, host Qatar have already been knocked out after back-to-back defeats.
To other news now, and rare protests have broken out in China's far western Xinjiang region, with crowds shouting at hazmat-suited guards after a deadly fire triggered anger over the prolonged COVID-19 lockdown as nationwide infections set another record.
Crowds chanted "End the lockdown," pumping their fists in the air as they walked down a street, according to video circulated on Chinese social media on Friday night. Reuters verified the footage were published from the Xinjiang capital, Urumqi.
China has put the vast Xinjiang region under some of the country's longest lockdowns, with many of Urumqi's 4 million residents barred from leaving their homes for as long as 100 days. The city reported about 100 new cases each of the past 2 days.
London Fire Brigade is institutionally misogynist and racist, according to a damning review into its culture. A black firefighter had a noose put by his locker, while a female once received video of a colleague exposing himself.
The independent review was established by the London Fire Commissioner after a trainee firefighter took his own life in August 2020. Commissioner Andy Rowe said there was no place for discrimination, harassment and bullying in the brigade.
He added, "From today, it will be completely clear to all staff what behaviour isn't acceptable and what the consequences will be."
Rail travel is being disrupted once again, with train drivers at 11 companies walking out as part of a low-running pay row.
The strike by the ASLEF union is affecting people travelling to Christmas markets and major sporting events. Passengers are being advised to check before they travel.
However, strike action at London Overground has been suspended while union members consider a new pay offer.
More than 250 social housing tenants have met for the launch of an official resident-led panel to improve unsafe conditions.
Housing Secretary Michael Gove declared an end to tenants being denied a proper voice ahead of the group that advised his department's policy meeting on Saturday.
Mr Gove is undertaking a crackdown on unsafe social housing after 2-year-old Awab Ishaq died from a respiratory condition linked to prolonged exposure to mould.
A man who died after staying at the Manston Migrant Processing Centre in Kent did have diphtheria, the Home Office has confirmed.
A government spokesperson said initial local hospital tests were false negatives, and follow-ups showed that diphtheria may have been the cause of the man's illness.
The man died in hospital 2 weeks ago after becoming unwell. It is understood he travelled to the UK by small boat and had been staying at the Manston Centre in Kent.
Russian forces are resorting to removing nuclear warheads from old cruise missiles to fire at targets in Ukraine, according to the latest Western assessment that points to Moscow's dwindling weapons stock.
The Ministry of Defence said that open-source imagery shows the debris of a 1980s AS-15 Kent air-launched cruise missile, which had apparently been shot down and whose warheads had probably been substituted for ballast.
The defence officials said that the inert system would still cause damage, but was not likely to achieve reliable effects against intended targets and could be used by Moscow as decoys to divert Ukrainian air defences.
The Supreme Court has ruled that the Scottish Government cannot hold a second independence referendum without the UK Government's consent. First Minister Nicola Sturgeon wants to hold a referendum on the 19th of October next year.
Court President Lord Reid said the laws that created the devolved Scottish Parliament in 1999 meant it did not have the power over areas of the Constitution, including the union between Scotland and England.
The First Minister told a media conference that a referendum remained her preferred option, but in the absence of an agreement, the SNP would use the next UK general election as a de facto referendum in an attempt to demonstrate that the majority of the people of Scotland support independence.
Heavy rain has been causing travel chaos across the weekend as it coincides with a strike by train drivers on Saturday.
The Met Office has issued yellow be aware weather warnings for southern England, Wales and parts of Scotland. It said downpours would likely cause flooding on roads and make journey times longer, with flooding of homes and businesses also possible.
4 flood warnings and 56 flood alerts have been issued in England.
The government has said the encouragement of self-harm will be criminalised in an update to the online safety bill. Content that encourages someone to harm themselves will be targeted in a new offence, making it illegal.
The government said the changes had been influenced by the case of Molly Russell, the 14-year-old who ended her life in November 2017.
Culture Secretary Michelle Donnellan said she was strengthening the bill to make sure these vile acts are stamped out. I am determined that the abhorrent trolls encouraging the young and vulnerable to self-harm are brought to justice, she also said.
And finally, a man whose body was found dumped on a street covered in potentially hazardous substances had been shot and attacked with acid, police said.
Liam Smith's body was discovered on Kilburn Drive in Shevington, Wigan, at about 1900 on Thursday. Greater Manchester Police has launched a murder inquiry into the unique and shocking circumstances.
Following Mr. Smith's death, his family paid tribute to the 38-year-old as the life and soul of the party. His body was found on a patch of rough ground between houses, which leads to a dirt track. And a quick look at the weather, and this evening will be rather cloudy with a few spells of rain edging into the far northwest. Tomorrow will be mostly cloudy with a few light showers, trending colder with an easterly wind.
Agus hashin ula on Latha belef ersan kinved, feka fosgrifu agus he who duiloin, lahan nev Anndra hona guivola.
And I shall repeat all of that in English. That's all today. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day. Please subscribe, follow us on our Facebook page listed down below, and see you on Monday. And if you are watching us from Scotland, then we wish you a happy, safe and peaceful St Andrew's Day. Bar Banach.